Folks, the Diamondbacks are in the World Series, and here we are. And here this is. The color is El Cap. This is a Rivian R1S, brand new 2023. Has the 22-inch bright wheels, has the standard black interior. This thing is gorgeous. And as you know, I was considering getting a Tesla Model X. I'm also considering getting a Rivian R1S. If this thing interrupts me one more time. So it's a gorgeous color. We're gonna take a drive in this. We're gonna show you some of the features. I'm just gonna show you what it's like, do a comparison to the Model X I just drove. I just drove a Range Rover that was very comfortable. Again, this has an air suspension. We're gonna show you some of the features around the car, starting with the frunk. So from the app, there's an automatic motor that you can pop and get the whole frunk opened up. Also, this is aftermarket. The owner put this on here. I think that's a really unique touch. The frunk is massive, and I always appreciate when an EV company can have a nice frunk. That tells me they were able to package their components efficiently, because Tesla started something. They started the electric car and made it popular, right? And all of Teslas come with a frunk. So you need to at least match that, and Rivian has done a really nice job of that. If we go and open this up, you have the charging cable, which can be stored below. There's the bag you get, probably some eco-friendly gear here. This is probably some environmentally safe stuff, or maybe it's not. But the frunk, beautiful space. Love this little touch that we did. And then with the click of the app, it closes up. The other thing I love on the Rivian are these lights. I just think it's a unique look coming up the road. The Cybertruck, it's a polarizing vehicle because of how it looks. It's going to be great because of the Tesla charging network, and you know, the technology in it and the software updates will be excellent, as all Teslas are, but it's not for everyone. And that's where Rivian comes in the market, especially this R1S. We don't have to deal with the huge gull-wing doors of the Model X. And that's also a thing I look down the road when the car comes out of warranty. How reliable are those going to be? Maybe they're very reliable, but I don't know. In the back here, seat comfort. I gotta say, I thought these would be a hair more comfortable. Not that they're uncomfortable, I just thought that they would be a little more comfortable. On the backs of the seats here, this is all like some type of hard plastic. You have USB-C port here and a place to hang your dry cleaning. No one dry cleans anything anymore, so I don't know what you can hang there. We have these little buckles here to show you're an adventure person and you do rock climbing and things like that. And then you have this storage compartment down here. Now on to the third row. This is interesting. So you have this button up here, which you press, and it's partially automated, and then it kind of puts it in a neutral position to let you slide into the back. So once we are in the back seat, you actually have a decent amount of room back here. Again, this isn't something I'd want to be taking on long trips, but you have this storage site here with a USB-C outlet, so you could actually put your phone totally in here, look out the window for once and not stare at your phone on a long road trip. You also have this little air conditioning vent here to keep yourself cool, along with an Alcantara roof liner, which I absolutely love. I like that it says Rivian right in the back of the seat. And overall, the seats are comfortable. They're just a hair firm. That's all. It's not awful, just more firm than I would have previously thought. So here's what it looks like with a nice round amount of room. I'm 6 feet tall, so this would be fine, but then this person is crushed up here. So in this position right here, this gives them some amount of space, and then it gives me actually a lot of space in the back seat. But this is, again, not something I would want to do on a very long trip. You also have this center section that folds down if you're going skiing. You know, you could hold, I guess you would have to fold these rear seats down because these don't fold. So that's how that looks. So you do have this that folds down. You can maybe use it as an armrest, but maybe for skis, these would have to be folded down. But overall, a nice place back here. And you got this rear sunroof with a beam here. I think it's a beautiful cabin interior, and it's not really a polarizing design. Everyone can look at a Rivian and go, that's a good looking car. Whereas the Model X or the Cybertruck, you're gonna look at that and you're gonna have an opinion about it right away. This is more, hey, that's a good looking car. Another Easter egg with Rivians is this little flashlight here. So you press that in, flashlight pops out, says Rivian right there. Just a cool little design that they added in there. I think that's actually to, you pull that out and you check your wallet, see if you have any money left because you spend it all on the car. Onto the front seat here, you can actually see on the center console, it says Rivian there and it's in yellow. Again, that was done aftermarket. I think that's a really nice touch that the owner put on this car. The seat functions here, so you get some lumbar support. You're able to move that lumbar support up and down, and then just your regular seat adjustments right here. Now this kind of shocked me. The steering wheel is thinner. It feels like a Ford quality steering wheel. It's just kind of thin, and the material doesn't feel, I feel like, as expensive as it should, but the simplicity is excellent. It's just like Tesla. You have the wood grain around here, wood grain around here as well. You got the display right in front of us here. You can see we're right down by the Diamondback Stadium in downtown Phoenix, and then it says Rivian across the front here. So I think it's a very clean, simplistic look on the interior. They gave it some ruggedized features, such as these grabs up here, which are useful. I wish Tesla had those. So now that we're on the interior of the car, I'm gonna show you a couple Easter eggs here. First, we've got the camp speaker down here, pops right out. Makes a little hello, you just popped me out sound. So we got that right there. I think that's a really cool feature. Again, going along with the theme that we're gonna go camping. Now, as I've said many times, we're not going camping. The amount of outdoor activity we're doing is a dirt parking lot, okay? So if you want to change the direction of the air flowing out of here, very similar to Tesla, kind of move these around to change the direction it's going. I think that's a cool feature. Another thing, it does not have a glove box, so this is all sealed off. All of your storage is done under the front seats here. There's these little compartments. You can see this area just opens up, so you have a little bit of storage there. You also have this storage area down here, and then we have this center console. And so this is kind of how the center console looks, really deep. So you got a lot of storage there. So you have all the storage you could possibly want just without having a glove box. Personally, I think a glove box is a pain in the butt. So it's kind of nice to have that eliminated, just one less button or moving part. But now on to the software. And again, this is a brief overview of the car. There are videos out there that go way more in depth. I'm giving you a high level look at this. One of the things that people like to know about is the suspension. So you can adjust the ride height here. It was on auto. If it's on auto, it locks you out of adjusting these. So if you tap auto, that releases it. And now we can adjust the ride height. And it says, gives you some warnings here. No obstructions under the vehicle, lower the ride height, and the car will go ahead and lower down to standard. But really, I think auto is probably the way to go. If you want to play with it, you definitely can. I just love this software. See, this is what we're asking for. This is what EV owners want to see. You need to give them software that gives you feedback on things that you're going to be using on a daily basis. So things like this, elevation. Now, do you need to know what elevation you're at? No, but it's a really nice feature to have. Gives you temperatures of the motors, gives us a battery temperature there, your trip mileage, all that type of stuff. And then if we look at the battery layout here, you can open your charge port up, you can look at your charging session summary, you can change your amperage for charging. It's a really clean look. And if this was my car, I'd be able to tell you a lot more about it, but it's just a clean look. And like I've said, Rivian, in my opinion, they are out actively listening. I saw with Kyle Connor, they were listening to some of his feedback on what he felt about the software. They just changed, you can have towing profiles saved based on what you're towing behind your car for that trailer. So you could save profiles for different trailers, which will make your driving experience better because they can more accurately calculate the range that you're going to get. So I think they're doing a great job with this. They just got to get to the profitability side of it, and they will, because these are desirable cars that they're creating. The other thing is the owner of this car got it for approximately $78,000 plus the $7,500 federal incentive. That to me is a very attractive number, whereas now this specific model is probably in the $90,000 range, which is a little much. So, hopefully they can bring those costs down to compete with the Model X, because I just think this is an excellent car and I want Rivian to succeed. So let's take it for a drive. I've been talking too much and see how it is. All right, so we've got a couple different drive modes here that we're going to want to go through. So we're currently in the all-purpose mode, and it gives you a brief summary of what that is. When you put it into conserve, it turns it into front-wheel drive only to be, maintaining as much energy as possible, which is very cool. It's interesting how, see, people pointing on the side of the road, they want to know what this is. That's what I love about this car. It's like it still has that buzz to it, and it's a good looking vehicle. And then if we go here to sport mode, the air suspension automatically drops in the car. Much more sporty ride. Feels like the steering got slightly more heavy. So we are gonna go, let's get on it a little bit to see how it feels. My God. I've driven SUVs this large. It's also extremely bumpy right now because we are in sport mode, so the suspension's let out. I'm also driving by the police station, which is where I'm gonna end up if I keep driving like that. Let's get on it one more time here. It's remarkable. Like, look, A lot of people are like, oh, I want to have my SUV and gas on the road trip, and I get it because it's more convenient right now. There is nothing that is this efficient and this fast. It's incredible to feel that type of power out of an SUV that's approximately 7,000 pounds. We got a Lucid in front of us right now. It's just shocking. So we're gonna go back into conserve mode because we definitely just warmed the oceans a little bit with that acceleration. So we'll try to calm it down, I apologize. So sport mode, we went over some train tracks and some bumps in the downtown area we're in, and the suspension bounces all over the place, so it's definitely making a change, and it's extremely quick. 0 to 60 time in the low or mid 3s. It's shockingly good. And that's another thing I'll say about electric vehicles is you have to give people a reason. If the 0 to 60 on this is 8 seconds, who cares? But if it's in the 3-second mark, it's faster than most Ferraris, that gives you a reason to want to buy an electric vehicle. That's another reason a lot of these EV manufacturers miss. I think you have to give the consumer that we shouldn't be relying on government assistance to want to buy these cars. We should just naturally want to buy them, and the Rivian delivers on that. So yeah, we're in conserve mode right now. Suspension raised up a little bit. We'll get on it to see what the performance is like with that. But yeah, so you can see we're actually still in low. So I'm gonna click auto there. So it's putting our ride height back up to standard, which just adds a nice amount of comfort. Now, in low ride height, you will run the car a little bit more efficiency because there's less drag on the tires that are exposed under the bumper. If you can have as little tire exposure as possible, that will help the car run more efficiently. And that goes for any car. But yeah, it's a really compliant, nice ride. In my Tesla Model Y, even like the little tar lines on the road, it's like so this is just a really plush ride so far. So get on it a little bit and conserve. So even in conserve mode, it's still quick. It's not a slouch at all. So even in its most economical mode, it still is sharp, and I really like that. Visibility is great out of the car. We're obviously sitting up very high. We have the panoramic roof. It's heavily tinted. I've had issues in my Tesla with too much heat coming through. This seems to be okay. I've already said I love the Alcantara roof liner. The comfort is great. You're in a commanding position on the road. I think my only kind of gripe, most people probably won't care, I just feel like the wheel could be a little bit more expensive feeling. I like the simplicity of it. I don't like how thin it is. The materials don't feel great, but I bet that they would last. They probably won't get shiny like a lot of leather wheels do over time. So here's also a look at our range estimates. If we click out, if you see here, it says 228 miles. If we click, it says current 228, full charge 320, and that's in the different modes. I love that it shows you the range that you're going to get in your different modes. And this is also based on your previous driving history. So just another cool feature with the software. The software also has nice kind of motion to it. Here, that's probably not the best use of words, but I only have so many words in my vocabulary, I apologize. So when you click here, just the transition from screen to screen is nice. Just kind of look at the cameras. You have this over-the-top 360 view. A lot of people love this view. I totally agree. Having a camera in the front of the car is really nice too. Checking out the rear of the car, looking out the front of the car, just by clicking this button. And those are just a look at some of the screens. So yeah, is it expensive? Yeah, it's absolutely expensive. We're still all early adopters, in the EV transition process. I'm also not someone that says, we need to go full EV, we're running out of time. Like I'm never in a panic mode for that type of stuff. The truth is that gas-powered cars are still quicker to travel across the country, but also planes exist, okay? So you can get in a plane and get somewhere faster than you're gonna get in any car ever. This is an awesome SUV to drive because of the performance that it gives, because of the features that it has with the software, and because of the efficiency you have. You think in a car this size, in a gas-powered car this size, you're maybe getting 18, 20 miles per gallon. The technology, there's no software updates, things like that. That's where the EVs are ahead and in-house developing their software, and a lot of the components. The new Rivians that are coming out with the motors that they're developing are going to be even better, even more efficient. I just think Rivian especially is heading in the right direction. And then when they have access to the Tesla charging network, that's going to be incredible. So yeah, the driving experience is great. The suspension's bouncing nicely. We're getting nice rebound. It's just a fun vehicle to be in. Got lots of space. I really have nothing negative to say. I guess, in comparison, what do we got here on the road? We have a pool. I've always said you could furnish your house on the Arizona highways and that there was a pool. I've never gone by a pool on the side of the road, so that's new. You know, I've driven the Model X recently. I've driven the Range Rover recently. The Range Rover of the three of these probably has the most commanding position on the road. It has all-wheel steering, which lets you really corner nicely in tight spaces with it being such a large car. Model X has the advantage of the Tesla charging network and the battery technology that they've developed for many years. This feels really good. I mean, it's shocking to me that they're able to get this good of a SUV on their first run through. We're just at the beginning of this. What's this gonna be like in 10 years? To get the range on this, and the owner also said, you know, he's had a Model S, he's had a Model 3, and the range on this seems to be true as to what it is. Now, I've talked about this many times, and you guys lampoon me in the comments saying I'm like a criminal or something, but the highway range on Teslas is like 70 to 80% of what's displayed. And I just feel like they could do a better job of appropriately displaying that, especially for people who are new to EVs. So this seems to be true to it, and a lot of other EVs that I've driven seem to be accurate to the displayed range. This will adjust its range based on what drive mode you're in and historically how you've driven. So I just think that that's a nice feature. Another great interior feature, cooled seats. You need that in Arizona, especially if you're going on a date and you get nervous. Keeps everything nice and clean and cool. It feels good on me right now. Andrew and I, cameraman, I'm bringing Andrew in on this. So we just were at Filiberto's before this. Well, we went to McDonald's. We got iced coffees, vanilla iced coffees, okay? And you know what that can do. Then we got steak, egg, and cheese burritos, and now we're driving someone else's Rivian. Now, obviously, this isn't a press car. I'm gonna be respectful. It's someone else's car, but I was just, we were on the way over here like, I hope we're okay. So far, it's been good, but the cooled seats are just, there's a long way of telling you that the cooled seats are very nice. So I just came to a stop here. You can adjust your regen braking to standard or high, and then you have your stability controls on, reduced, and you can hold for off. It's obviously a warning. Oh, so that's interesting right there. So one of the other things that the owner mentioned to me is a lot of times if you sit and hold in the hold position for too long, it will actually put the car in park, which is kind of annoying. I know some Toyotas do that, whereas the Tesla will just sit there forever. Well, it's not forever, but it's a long extended amount of time that you're never going to hit. And it'll put, look at that. So I think it just made that girl look like a zombie, I think, because it's in Halloween mode. So it's in Halloween mode with how you heard it playing the songs earlier. So it made her look like a zombie with a bat flying around her head. I don't know. I just like cool little features like that because why not? Just interesting. And then there's also the ride feel here. So soft or stiff, and that's just the damping. So that doesn't change the ride height. That's just the damping and rebound. Yeah, just some unique features within the infotainment that kind of enhances your driving experience. Now here's a look at the navigation system. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with this. The owner said it's okay, the navigation, but again, because they have a software team behind all this, it will be developed, it will get better over time. So here's a brief look. You can kind of look at the speed of the charger that you want to be targeting to go to. You can see these 1 to 50 kilowatt is what all these are. But then if we go down here, you can see these 3 lightning bolts here. That's because there's a 150 kilowatt plus charger, probably some Electrify America charger over there. So that's like a brief look at what the navigation is like. Again, it's kind of just like your phone, pinch to zoom and all that type of stuff. Overall, the responsiveness of it is nice. The screen size is nice. So no real complaints there. So one of the things I promote heavily on this channel is 3D Mats USA. They make floor mats for the Rivian R1S and R1T. I'm going to send the owner of this car as a thank you, a set of these floor mats. These are the best floor mats for your car. The reason is because of their Max Spider technology. They will be able to stick to this carpet without fraying it. And with their bold design, if you spill water, if you go skiing, if you're going camping, there's mud on your boots, it will all stay in the floor mat and it won't get the interior of the car dirty. You're able to easily remove them from the car, again, without fraying your carpet, and you'll be able to clean them off. Mine are 3 years old. They still look like they did the first day. So 3dmatsusa.com, I'll have it linked in the description with a discount code. They are excellent, and those are the floor mats that you're gonna wanna put in your Rivian. Now, if you guys want to see my video on the Tesla Model X and me explaining if it's worth $79,990, click this video right here and go Diamondbacks.